All right. Welcome everyone to day 3 of our ACM at UIC Spring King of the Hill competition and conference. Today we'll actually be doing our King of the Hill competition. So if somebody in the chat could say something just to let me know that that you can hear me, that would be great. We can get started. Test, test, test. Looks like my audio is working. We'll get started in a couple minutes just to let people join in. Awesome, thank you. Alright, let's give 2-3 more minutes. Let people join in. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the beautiful weather outside today. Hopefully you've been outside today. Alright, we'll get started in just a minute. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and start the presentation. Well, welcome everyone. You've made it to day 3 of our King of the Hill competition and conference. Today is the actual King of the Hill competition, and I hope everyone will have fun, but we got to get a few things out of the way to make sure that we are ready to go. So, how to get started in CTFs and KOTHs. So, first I want to explain what is a KOTH or a King of the Hill. We're doing the Try Hack Me version of King of the Hill, which is a combined to capture the flag and King of the Hill competition. What you do is whenever you you try to gain access to a system, and once you've gained access to that system, you will have flags, and you'll be able to use those flags to get points, and then in the /root/king.txt folder, or the file, if you put your username inside of that file, you will get points. So as long as your username is inside that file, the first name in that file, and the only name in that file, then you will get points every, I think, like minute or so, I think. So it's strongly encouraged that when you compete, um, when you have the king, when you're the king, that you block other people from also becoming king. Um, so these will each last 60 minutes, and we'll have 2 sessions. So I do want to go over what are called the rules of engagement. If you did the pen testing room, I believe it covers rules of engagement. But it's very important anytime you're doing any sort of security related activity that you take into consideration the rules of engagement. So you cannot attempt to attack another person's machine or attack anything other than the IP address that's given to you by TryHackMe. You cannot delete flags. So if a flag is there, you cannot delete the flag. And overall, I highly urge against modifying the flags at all. Any modification to the flags that results in somebody not being able to read the flag can get you disqualified. Restarting the machine, I don't believe you can restart the machine, but if you try, I just don't even try. That's not a valid rule of engagement. I mean, theoretically, the best security is to just turn off all your computers, but that's not what we're going for here. And then do not modify or delete built-in system files. Don't try to modify sudo to be another program or something like that. Sudo should always be sudo. All of the built-in system files should stay the same. So, flags. What are they and what do you do with them? So, when you connect to when you are attacking a machine, commonly you will get flags, and these flags will look something like this. Sometimes there will be capital THM with curly braces, or TryHackMe with curly braces. It looks something like this. While you're there, I think they're just capital THM with curly braces around them. So this is how you identify a flag. Once you get the initial foothold, and you're logged in as a user, you'll get your first flag pretty much. You'll be able to go into the user's home folder, and there should be a flag in there. And then once you have this, you just paste it into TryHackMe. So in TryHackMe, there will be a little box at the bottom for submissions, and you just enter in the flag that you got into submissions. So if anybody has any questions about that, go ahead and post it in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next thing I want to talk about, which are reverse shells. So one thing I did not cover in the previous tutorials, just because it's not a big topic that needs to be explained. Basically, whenever you connect, like say you're connecting to a computer over something like SSH to another computer, with something like PuTTY, that's just a normal shell. But most of the time you cannot do that because, well, there's not going to be anything listening on the other side, and two, there's likely a firewall blocking it. But what if you make the server itself request the shell from your computer? So basically what you do is you have you use like the things that I was showing yesterday with the reverse shell cheat sheet. You have it execute that code pointing towards your computer, and you'll get a reverse shell. And I'll show you how to do that right now, so you can see sort of what I'm talking about. All right, so So there's two parts of this communication. So there's the one that's requesting the actual shell, and then there's the one that's actually gaining the shell. I guess that's a good way to explain it. So you need one person listening for a connection, and then you need another thing connecting and making that connection to get that reverse shell. Now, say that you have like full bash access, which is what I have here. Like I have a full shell on this computer, but I want to get a reverse shell. So this is a standard shell that I'm connecting to this computer over SSH with. So, oops. Let me pull over a Safari window here. Now, nobody remembers these. It's a bunch of jumbled numbers. But if you just type in bash reverse shell, or you just type in reverse shell cheat sheet, you'll get this GitHub, and then you can just go to bash TCP. I won't be explaining UDP shells, but TCP shells should be enough for what we're looking for. So there's 3 examples here. We don't really care about these 2 for the most part. We can just use this part, this one. So let's go ahead and copy this, and we'll paste it into our terminal. This is executing on the remote server. So if you're running like PHP remote shell, you would put this into your PHP executor, and it would connect back to your computer. So, but first we need to listen for a connection. So the easiest way to do that is with netcat. You can type netcat, or the shorthand is nc, and then we need to set up a listener. The most common command, I recommend writing this down. I'll write it in the chat as well. VLP, and then the port number, usually like 10,000, or you can do some arbitrary number. It needs to be a high port number, so like above 1,000, so that you don't have to like deal with sudo access and stuff. So that is the command that you would need to execute in VLP. I'm going to do 1337, and now you should get nothing. If that works, then you're good to go. So I'm going to connect back. Let me open up another shell real quick. So this is on my local machine. So let me get the IP address of my local machine. So on Mac, ifconfig. On Linux, IPA. On Windows, ipconfig. And let's get my IP address. It's 10.147. So let me make this bigger. So 192.168.10.147. And then we need to do it on port 1337. And then once we execute this, let's go ahead and hit enter, execute. Let's go back over here. No such file or directory. Did it delete something? Oh, you need to be in bash to do this. There we go. You can assume that you're going to be in bash most of the time, so you know, just ignore that little issue. Oh, I forgot to change the parameters here. Copy that. Make sure our shell's still running. Oops. It's really hard to click on these little, and it actually closed that by accident. So we still have our listener running. Let's hit this. Now if we go back, we see that we have a connection and we have a shell. So if I list files here, you can see that I can list all the files, and I have full access to this computer. This is over a reverse shell. We told the computer, the remote computer, to connect back to a local computer so that we can get a shell. This is 99.99% of the time when you're doing some sort of pen testing. This is how you're going to get access to the system. You're not going to be able to connect directly over SSH to get access to the system or in some other way. A lot of times you're going to be doing reverse shells and CTS. If I did want to show that very quickly, awesome. Let's switch back over to our presentation. And we just went over this. Awesome. So this is the final slide. This is going to be the final slide of the final presentation. At this point, we are ready to start hacking. So at this point, I'd like to see how many people are going to be joining on this. So I think looking at the Try Hack Me signups on the workspace, I only saw 14 people signed up on here. So we need to go ahead. This is less than what's needed to actually do the to hop into Discord. So we're gonna go ahead and hop over onto the Discord server, and then we'll go over the details and stuff on how to actually join the CTF over on Discord. So I'll be sticking around for a couple more minutes on YouTube so that people, if they're having issues, can ask questions. But please go ahead and join on Discord. We'll be in the discussion channel down in the meeting rooms. So everybody go ahead and join over on the Discord, and then we'll get started. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the stream. Like I said, feel free to join the Discord. We'll start in about 7 minutes. Hope to see you there.